Thank you for joining us. You have many choices, but we count it a privilege you're listening to the As One podcast.
We truly thank God for you. And as always, we hope you enjoy today's segment.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of As One. Yes, I'm Marcus.
And I'm Krista.
And we are here again, once again. Just excited, y'all. Glad, thankful, you know. These weeks have been flying by. We just recently celebrated Memorial Day. And if you guys didn't get to check the Memorial episode out, the Memorial Day special episode from last week, heading into the holiday, you need to check it out. We had two beautiful ladies who were recounting and just, going back down memory lane with both of their late husbands who are also servicemen.
Yes.
And we were just blessed.
Yes.
We were just blessed.
Yes, it was awesome.
It was awesome. And we have more, guests like that to come, you guys. So make sure you keep tuning in, keep listening. Thank you all once again. I have to say it every time because I am thankful. My wife and I both are thankful for the support.
Yes, super thankful.
Yes.
Very appreciative.
And the feedback that we're getting. And we want to continue to kind of like expound on some of the things that we're getting feedback on as well. Okay, so let's get to it for tonight, though. Tonight, we are talking about, and this is a heavy hitter to me, y'all. Heavy hitter. Fixing versus helping. Yes. I'm going to say it one more time for the who? The people in the back. Fixing versus helping. Yes. Okay. Listen, y'all, this is a big one because everybody has the answer to everybody's stuff.
Yep.
Right? That's just how it is. Like, it's much easier for me to look at you and fix you than it is for me to look at me and fix myself.
Yep.
But that's actually not how it goes. It's actually reversed. It's much easier for you to work on you. Trust me, than it is to try to fix somebody else. And that's why you don't need to be in a fixing posture.
Yes.
But you need to be in a helping posture, right?
Helpmate.
A helpmate. Say it one more time. Helpmate. All right. So look. Let's start like this right here. Okay. Instead of trying to fix your partner, you should be looking at a friend. Okay, a comrade, a person that you're in this thing with, an equal. Okay, who needs your help.
Yep.
And helping them is your responsibility to help them get better or grow versus trying to fix them.
Yes.
Why, do you ask? Well, it's very simple. Fixing requires you taking some type of authoritative or lead action.
Yes.
So similar to like if something gets broken, right?
Yep.
Okay, fellas, let me holler at y'all real quick. So let's say something breaks on the car, right? And you're like, man, the only way that you can tell it's not quite running right. So yeah, there are signs that something's wrong, right? Okay, you kind of see, and you're like, okay, I think I'm going to figure out what's going on. And men, I don't work on cars, but I'm guilty of this, because I heard a few things over the years. Like, I think it might be the alternator, the regulator, carburetor, whatever, because I want to sound like, man, I know. And sometimes I don't have a clue. But that's just how our minds operate, right? Like we want to fix things, and we're fixers by nature. We're protectors, and we're problem solvers. So that's easier for us to kind of fall into this fixing thing. But when that thing breaks on the car does not have any type of authority in the situation.
Right.
So it can't say, nope, I don't want you to fix me, or nope, that's not it, or nope. The only thing that it can do is what it's programmed to do. And that certain symptoms and signs might be there, whatever. But other than that, it does not have any say in the matter. So the authority is on you.
Yeah.
The lead action, the action is on you. You determine what needs to happen, and you determine what tools are needed to fix the problem with no real input from the broken piece.
Exactly.
Okay, the broken piece is not talking back. But a spouse is, listen to me, fellas and ladies, Listen, a spouse, a friend, any relationship, any person that you're dealing with, they are not a hose, an engine piece, or a light fixture. Okay,
Right.
that's a real person,
Yes.
and more importantly, they are your friend. They are your husband, your wife, your what I'm saying, your coworker, your whoever they are to you, sibling. They're a real person.
Yes.
This is a real relationship. This is a two-way street. Okay, so when you see them as such, as a person, an equal, then you're going to look at the issue that they may be experiencing, and then you're going to seek ways that you can help them overcome it or get past the obstacle, which means that they are actually in control.
Yes.
So it's very different than when you're going in trying to fix something with tools, because you're in control. You have the authority. You get to move it. But what we do is we take that same approach when it comes to relationships.
Yeah.
And that's where we mess up.
Yep.
We go in and we like, oh, something's broke. Something's wrong there. Let me diagnose it first without even talking to my wife. I'm looking out like, oh, I know what's wrong with her. Don't worry about it. I got it. And then I go in my tool bag and I pull out my tools. And then I get to fixing what I think the problem is.
Yeah.
And she looking like, why are you trying to fix that? First of all, I don't even know if I want to be fixed. Secondly, you probably barking up the wrong tree.
That it?
You got a ratchet, you need a screwdriver, brother. You know what I'm saying? Do that happen sometimes?
It does.
Be honest with me now. You know.
It does, but it happens. It happens, but it works both ways.
Both ways.
I think a lot of women are guilty too when they get in relationships with men, and they want to try to fix them and say, "Oh, I can help him with this, or I can do that."
A project prince.
Yes, that's the perfect. That's the perfect word. Project prince. Yeah. I think women are guilty of that as well. Mm-hmm. I know I have been.
Yeah. Seeing us men as projects. Y'all allowed to be ashamed of y'all. Say, I'm not working.
There are times though that your mate or your significant other may need help with something.
Yes.
And a lot of times they'll let you know.
Yes.
They'll let you know.
Yes.
Communication is what I feel like every episode in some way, shape, or form, it always comes back to communication. If they offer and they ask for your help.
Yes.
That's different.
Keyword, if
they ask.
And then ask. two keywords.
Yes.
That's why it's a helping and not a fixing.
Yeah. And a lot of times, the saying goes, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Don't fix it.
Some things, it just,
And I love that. No, you're fine. Yeah. That's great. I love that because you said if it's not broke, then don't fix it. Here's the thing. If it's broke, then you have to fix something. Right? But at the same time, you don't have to necessarily be the one to fix it or do the fix.
And to you, it might be broke. To them,
that person. They're like, this is who I am. Okay? And then, another thing with that same saying, if it's not broke, you can still help it.
Exactly.
Because you don't have to necessarily fix it, but you might need to help it so that it continues to stay functioning and doing the right thing the way it's
and
supposed
always want to come from a genuine place.
Yes.
No hidden motives. Oh. I think a lot of times people have hidden agendas and hidden motives where I want to fix this for that person because I want them to be like this for me, or I want something out of it.
Whatever my idea, the way that I think you should be.
Yes. And I've been guilty of that before.
I think we all have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I want to mold the person. And then, you don't ask permission and you don't communicate. And then you get frustrated when your molding doesn't take shape.
Exactly.
The way that you want it to.
Right.
Well, guess what? You came into it wrong from the beginning.
From the jump.
You came in trying to be a fixer that got you a project prince or you a saver girl. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I'm going to save her. I'm going to save her from us. I got my Superman cape on.
Right.
Don't worry, honey. I'm going to get you out that bad situation and I'm going to turn you into a housewife that loves and no, hold on. So these are reasons why when we going into relationships, first of all, we have to know who we are. We have to have our personal stuff together. We have to know what we want, you know what I'm saying, and understand who God is in our lives. And then we need to seek God as to whom we need to yoke up with, you know, especially when it comes to husband and wives.
You should be equally yoked.
Yes. And even hanging out and having friends, you know, like our circle of friends are not just some, random fly-by-night type of situations. Yeah. Like, we develop these relationships based on a camaraderie, and then also based on an idea, a similar ideology on certain things, because, how can we ride together if we don't really agree, with one another? So it's very important that we understand the difference between fixing and helping. Yes. So already, y'all, we kind of on a deep dive a little bit there. Just understanding that there's a difference between the two, because you're dealing with a person that you need to communicate with. Yes. And then you need to make sure that they are in agreement with whatever type of help even that you're trying to give. Right. Now, if you're fixing, you're not really looking for agreement, because it's not really a help situation. You're trying to perform an act. And if you're trying to perform an act, then you get more aggressive when someone's resisting. Yes. If I'm trying to help you, when they're defensive. If I'm trying to help you, chances are, if you're resisting, I'm going to kind of lean back, because I'm coming from a genuine place. Yes. Like you said, I'm really trying to help you. Yeah. So if you're kicking back, then maybe I'm okay. Let me hesitate a little bit, step back, because obviously they don't want my help. Now I'm not in a place where I'm all tore up.
And then if they don't want your help, don't get offended.
Don't get offended. I'm not all tore up and offended. Yeah.
I was going to say, a lot of times, though, even if that person may be dealing with something and you feel like you need to be running there and you need to fix it, and it may be something wrong and they don't want your help.
Right.
This is where prayer comes in. Yeah. In some cases, most cases. Pray about it.
You got to pray just to make
pray for them.
Yes.
Pray for them genuinely.
And especially if you are a husband and wife, pray with them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
As much as they will allow,
above all. Yes.
As much as it can happen, don't force it. But if it can happen, pray with them and pray for them. Yes. You would be amazed at how much that makes a difference.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yes.
I was going to say the same thing. How much prayer can really change a relationship.
Yes.
Certain aspects.
Fix the stuff that you ain't got no business putting
and in that way, you ain't got to fix it.
That's right.
The Lord fixes it.
That's right. You're like, listen, I really don't even need you to help the situation sometimes. But if I can at least teach you how to approach it right, then your partner would be more receptive of the help that you're trying to give. Yes. So so it's important to know, when you see them the way that you're supposed to see them, it causes you to look at the issue they may be experiencing and then seek ways that you can help them overcome the issue or get past the obstacle, which means that they are in control and have a choice in accepting your aid or even your assessment of the issue itself.
Good. That's good.
Because they might not even agree with how you're looking at the situation.
You have a different point of view.
Different point of view. Or it may be something that's deeper than what the surface says, what meets the eye. The ailment might actually be a little bit deeper.
Yes.
And the only person that can tell you that is the person themselves that's dealing with
that's what I said, unless they ask.
Unless they ask, Right. So get that information. This is a process that helps to prevent a person from feeling overwhelmed and underestimated when they're facing or dealing with an issue, while also preventing the helper from feeling neglected or ignored or rejected, or here's the worst case, feeling like a villain when they're simply trying to be of help. Right. Yes. There's no worse feeling than going into a situation with your Superman cape on, knowing in your mind that you're about to be the hero, only to get shot down because the person does not want you to be there, and your approach is all wrong, and they reject your fixing totally. Yes. They're like, listen, no, I don't.
And then y'all both upset.
And now you both upset. You offended. You taking your cape off. You throwing it.
And then they offended because they kind of.
That's right. And they jump anyway.
You know what? This also, sorry to cut y'all, brings me back to a previous episode. Yes. Boundaries.
Yes, boundaries. yes. Boundaries are so important. If you hadn't had a chance to check it out, check it out. Yes. Because basically we just laid out how important it is to have those hedges of protection, but then also those lines of communication that form those hedges of protection around our relationships, that causes us to be in a posture of respect to one another. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It forces that respect. It's needed. It's needed. It is. And so
respecting any relationship, I would say, is crucial.
It's crucial. And it's not just your your respect of your relationship and your respect of the person you're in relationship with, but it's also your standard to allow other people to maintain respect for your relationship. That way, can't nobody just step to you on the job or wherever you might be. Can't nobody just come in and treat you any kind of way or do any type of thing that disrespects your marriage when your spouse is not there.
Right, but also boundaries with each other.
Yes, and boundaries with each other. Yes,
so you don't overstep. With what we're talking about, trying to fix the situation. Right, and,
healthy boundaries all the way around. They really help you. So go back and touch that if you hadn't checked that out. So it's all of these are always on demand and available.
Yes.
So
social media platforms as well.
Streaming platforms. So go check them out, y'all. But anyway, let's get back in it because we I think we're in the thick of it right here. It is so important that we realize how bad you can feel once you get that villain role and it takes over. And now you're mad and you're offended. And not only are you not going to help, but now you are not even going to try to fix anymore. So now you're trying to wash your hands clean totally. Oh, you don't want my help? Oh, you going to act like that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, now I don't want nothing to do with you. You know what? Drown. Drown on your own. Face it by yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing that we want to do to each other. When it comes to relationship, you don't want your partner to feel like they have to go through obstacles and stuff alone. Because then you're both operating out of self and operating out of selfish places.
That's true.
And you can easily grow apart right there. You know what I'm saying? So just little nugget right there. If we approach this thing the right way, then the help can be received because the communication is going to bring us to attack the right thing the right way. And I don't even want to use the attack, just say the approach to healing or restoring or overcoming, whatever that may be. So if we take the time to respectfully present the help, oftentimes it can be received much better than a fixing attempt that can sometimes feel controlling and undermining. I'll say that one more time. If we take the time to respectfully present the help, okay? I want to break that down real quick. Respectful, presenting, and help, okay? The boundaries, like we talked about, being respectful to the person that you're approaching.
Yes.
I don't have all the answers and I don't want to act like I know it. If you act like you know it all, or if in your mind you're saying, "Oh, I know what's wrong with you," automatically you're going to be disrespectful. I'm just letting you know, even if you try to be nice.
Right. That's what I was going to say, even without trying to.
That's right. Because like my wife said earlier, it's not genuine. You have preconceived notions about it, whatever. So you automatically are going to go down a series of actions based on what you think in your mind is wrong.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? With your with your spouse or your friend or whoever. So it's just important that you respect them enough to say, okay, when I present the help, I'm presenting it as a blank canvas. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
Even if I think I know, I don't know for sure until you tell me for sure that is what's going on.
Exactly.
That's the respect that I have to have. And then when I present the help, it's up to you then to accept it or reject it. Yes. And now I'm in a posture to say, if you don't want it, I know now that I can then go into prayer.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But give you the respect to even reject it and say, nah, that's okay.
Yeah. I'm
all right. Now, if your spouse has an issue that's deeper than just a fallout or, maybe dealing with something, trying to overcome small things, if it's like a really bad addiction or something like that, then sometimes you have to go, and we talked about this too, even in the boundary segment, like sometimes you have to go and get the type of help that you need. You know what I'm saying? And that's a really fine line, but you don't want to see a person be in a situation where they will hurt themselves or hurt others. So that's when things get a little bit different as far as to say, okay, maybe we need to go outside of these lines so that we can bring in the proper help.
Yeah, that's true.
Important, very important. So don't want to get in that place where they feel like you're controlling them or undermining them. So be respectful when you present the help.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, we are going to, in this last little part here, we're going to break down a few things that we feel like can help to make sure that you don't get into a posture of fixing, but that you actually approach things from a helpful standpoint. But before we do that, I do want to read a scripture that I think kind of falls in line with some of these things. That can really help us, just the language of the word, y'all. So many things in the word of God, and that's why we say biblical God, because there are things in the word of God that we feel like speaks to us directly when it comes to our relationships, and speaks to our hearts as far as how we consider one another in relationship. So this is Ephesians 4. And we'll concentrate on 4 and 2, but I do want to read just a few more, probably just 1 through 4 here. But it says, I, therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye are called, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love. So I want to just pause right there, because it's the lowliness, the meekness, long suffering, and forbearing one another in love part. To me, that really speaks to being able to say, okay, am I trying to diagnose you and put this thing on you, or am I actually being patient with you in a low and meek state? Meaning I'm not trying to, come in and just take over and overwhelm you. But I'm actually going to be in a patient position to forbear one another in love, so that I can just hang in there with you and then, let you know, hey, I got you. I got your back. I'm with you on this thing. Let's do this together.
Right.
Okay. And 3, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. That's just, that tastes so good to my lips, just saying, in the bond of peace. It's so important that we err on the side of peace. Okay. At the end of the day, if somebody is coming with something crazy and something wicked, it feels like it's taking over your atmosphere, err on the side of peace. Meaning, what do you have to do in that moment to fight for your peace and maintain the peace?
Stress-free,
right? So if a situation arises and you feel like their person needs to be helped, okay, and their help needs to happen, but they're not really feeling your help, then you have to make a conscious decision right there to say, okay, but I want the atmosphere to at least stay as peaceful as possible. Whereas if I go in there and I'm beginning to add to the struggle, where now peace doesn't have a chance. So we got,
and that's one thing I was going to throw in real quick. The atmosphere of your home is really, really important.
It's so important.
Very important.
So
to
important.
Your marriage, relationship.
Yes, everything. And then it goes on to talk about, there's one body, one spirit. We're called in one hope of our calling, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. So the importance of oneness. And this is kind of why we talk about a lot of these things, and the importance of communication and the boundaries and the vision and all of these things. It's just to get us all on the same page. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to our relationship, unity, we have to be on the same page, even when it comes to our problems and our issues. You know what I'm saying? We got to be on the same page, because if I'm looking at it the way I want to look at it, instead of asking her, how should I see this? How do you see it? Help me see it the way you see it, so that I can at least respect it, even if I can't quite see it the same. But I respect it enough to where I err on the side of peace, so that I don't get into some other stuff trying to be the hero and fix everything. So just some important stuff there, y'all. All right, so we're almost done. We're gonna wrap it up with these 3 things right here. Okay. All right. So 3 things that we feel like would be helpful to helping you to be the helper that you need to be. All right. Number 1, language should be suggestive and not demanding. Okay. It should be suggestive and not demanding. Your spouse or friend or coworker, whoever it may be, should be equally respected and treated how you want to be treated. It changes a little bit in a parent-child dynamic, because that's a little bit different, because with the equality piece, but still, you should should see them as who they are in God and what they are, in, as little humans, you know what I'm saying? And then you should treat that situation the same way with that same respect. Okay. Remember, as the scripture says, gentle answer turneth away wrath. Okay. So it's in your approach, y'all. It's in your approach, your tone. Yeah. Okay, guys, sometimes, listen, I'm very guilty of this because I just have a natural kind of, tone sometimes that just sound like, my wife always say, you just sound like you didn't care, and I'm like,
nonchalant.
Yeah. Look, I'm just cool like that, baby. But nah.
Okay.
Nah, honestly, I've learned to not get too high and not to get too low, but sometimes that comes across as you're not high enough or you're not low enough. You know what I'm saying? And so that's when I have to not get offended by the fact that she feel like I was wrong and said, nah, that's not what it is.
Yeah, ladies got to watch their tone too.
Yes. Oh Lord, because y'all can go up. Men can go up too. We can get a little bassy, all that stuff, but women can hit a note.
Neck roll.
That neck roll, the eye rolling,
the hands, get the going.
You know what I'm saying? They're hitting below the belt, like we talked about last week. Oh my God. Hitting below the belt. Y'all, I ain't gonna look. I love y'all. I love y'all. But so we want to make sure that gentle answer is there because that's going to turn down the wrath and it's going to help us to promote the peace that we're looking to have in our atmosphere. Because how you present something is oftentimes more important than the something that you're presenting. Okay, the presentation is better than what's in the package itself. Okay, so just know how important that is, to make sure that we have language that is suggestive but not demanding. Number 2, unless they are in a dangerous situation where they're a danger to themselves or others, the person with the issue should remain in control of what happens in relation to their issue.
Yeah,
that's
because it's their issue.
It's their issue. That's just giving them respect.
Yeah. Now, in a marriage, though, I do think that I'm not saying that your problem because your spouse becomes your spouse's problem,
right?
But if it's affecting the marriage, then it should be something that you both try to work on if that person is receptive, if that makes sense.
Right. Yes, definitely. It's you should both take it on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Once you realize what it is, because that's how it goes from being your issue to our issue.
Right.
And we both tag team it to try to get over it, get past it, get through it. But it has to start with the respect of seeing the person's perspective on their issue. Okay. So give them that room so that they can see it for what it is and then convey it to you so that you can understand it the way that they understand it.
Right.
All right, y'all. This is the last one, number 3. Be sure to get as full of an understanding of the issue as possible from who? The person who needs help.
Yes.
And try your best not to assume what they need. This takes listening skills and patience. Okay, I'm going to say it one more time. Be sure to get a full understanding of the issue from the person who needs the help. Okay, and then try your best not to assume what they need. The listening and the patience is big right here, literally.
How many times have we made assumptions about something?
Oh my God.
Not just us per se, but in relationships, period. People are very guilty of doing that. I think everybody is guilty.
over again.
Of assuming.
Yes. I can remember.
That's the worst.
Yes. I can remember from a standpoint of, hierarchy on a job, boss or manager or whatever, that relationship between, that person in the higher authority and the person that's, just the common worker or whatever.
Yeah.
I can remember having a relationship in that situation where I was kind of sore at the person who was my manager at the time because I thought they was coming at me a certain way.
Yes.
But I didn't take time to ask them. I didn't take time to communicate with them or approach it in way. I just assumed that because I felt like they were working me hard, that they had something against me. And it wasn't until one day that I was just like, okay, you know what? I had enough. I need to figure out what's going on. Like, why you always doing X, Y, Z and got me, And then he broke it down. He was like, man, you so far off,
right?
Young brother. He's like, what it is I see something in you and I want to take advantage of it. He said, now I'm not saying that in a bad way. I need you to be who you are. He said, if anything, I'm glad that you do the things that you do. Say, now, if you feel like I'm riding you or whatever, you say, then, that's my bad. I wasn't trying to do it like that.
Yes.
But just understand that I really needed you to be who you are in these situations.
Yes.
And it made me look at it differently. Now, I did actually, back up just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let brother stretch and breathe a little bit.
Right.
But it gave me a new respect and then a better attitude towards that particular person in that particular situation.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just important that we use our listening skills, our patience, you know what I'm saying? But then also don't assume things, but also use our communication skills.
Yes.
Literally, y'all, we have to be slow to speak and quick to listen.
Yes.
Slow to speak, quick to listen. All right. Y'all, I hope that you have gotten something from tonight's segment. We always enjoy these things because it's practice for us on a daily with our communication and everything. And we do have we do have these moments where these things come into play in the practice.
Yeah.
They have already, and they do come back around full circle sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And that's the beauty of how this whole thing goes. All right, so we did have a question, and I'm going to keep it anonymous as far as where the question came from. But just know that if you send us anything on our website, then if you fill out a form, you send in a question. We will try our best to give you something, and then in a general sense on air. But then also we're going to connect with you on a personal level via email or whatever the communication may be. But we did have this question. Basically, the statement was, relationship is a hard thing to maintain. True. Let's just be real. True. Just true.
Yeah.
Two people are together always and around each other a lot. And then conflict and disagreement can happen. It can take place. So how can we deal with those problems and make our relationship stronger? I think the biggest thing is understanding the boundaries, like we talked about. The boundaries help us when we have to be on top of each other. We had a pandemic where we were literally in each other's face.
And I was pregnant.
And she was pregnant. Y'all, I should have jumped off the roof 2 or 3 times. No, I'm just playing, y'all. But honestly, we got through those times and those difficult times as a family because we respected each other's boundaries. Like sometimes, hey, you need to be downstairs. I need to be upstairs. You need to take a drive. I need to take a drive. You know what I'm saying? You need to take the kids somewhere. I need to take the kids somewhere. You got the baby this time. I got the baby this time. Whatever it is, just respecting those boundaries though and saying, okay, let me give you the space that you need. Letting each other be angry when because like you said, when conflict arises, it's going to happen. Disagreement is going to happen. But the way that you respect each other when you're in that space says everything. When the conflict hits, do you respect each other enough to give each other some room to process it so that you don't try to tear each other's heads off, and that's what we talked about also in another segment is, fighting fair, you know what I'm saying? And learning how to fight the right way so that you don't come at each other as if you're the enemy. No, there is a problem, a conflict that arose, but the two people that's in relationship are actually the two heroes that need to come together and squash that thing.
Right.
No matter how it came in. It might have came in through you, might have came in through me, or
came in some kind
of way. But it takes both of us to recognize it and then respect each other enough to get together when we can on one accord and deal with it. So that's just some of the things that can be done. But conflict and disagreements, those things are going to take place. It's how we handle those things when they arise. That's the biggest thing. And those things strengthen our relationship. And then biggest thing that my wife said tonight, the power of prayer. Learning how to pray, learning how to come together in agreement that things are going to change, that your atmosphere is going to be a certain way. We talked about the vision in the vision segment. That's part of declaring and decreeing and speaking and being on one accord about where you want your marriage to go.
Right.
What is the foundational things that we believe in, the core beliefs and the core goals, and then building on those things and having a like mind. So that way, if anything pushes you or him or her or what, you know, how whatever dynamic you fit, if you're the husband or the wife, whatever comes in that pushes either one of you away from that, the other one can say, okay, hold on, let's reconnect and bring it back towards the goal and the vision. All right. So hopefully that helped. Like I say, we're going to have some personal responses on those things, but y'all don't be afraid to send us things, even on Facebook and Instagram. If you guys want to reach out and say, hey, y'all,
we welcome it.
Give us, you know, a little bit of perspective. And then we're going to have other couples who are even more seasoned and have, you know, gone through even more than what we've seen. And they're going to have some takes on some of this stuff as well. So y'all just keep feeding us. All right. Thank y'all so much for tuning in.
Thank you guys so much. We love you.
We love you guys. Continue to follow us on all streaming platforms, social media, all that stuff. Once again, I'm Marcus.
I'm Krista.
And this has been As One. God bless.